In the last tutorial, we saw how we could easily add an effect to the whole of our track. But in this tutorial, as I said in the previous tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how we add an effect, but not to the whole track, but just to an individual part of our track, i.e., I'm going to add it simply to an event. Now, we only have one audio event on track 3 at the moment, our vocal file, but suppose we had many. Imagine we'd got 3, 4, maybe 50 different events on our track. Well, as I said in the previous tutorial, any effect added to our track effects will affect every single event on that track. But that might not be what you always want. So therefore, if you want to add an effect only to one event on the track, here's what we do. On your actual event, click the button at the bottom right there. It's very similar to the one we see on our track list. Click on it to open up the plugin chooser for just this vocal isolated event and not for the whole track. So with this resulting user interface, choose effect. Now I'm going to choose parametric EQ, and remember, to add this you have to click on the add button, that third button down on the right, to add this to our effects chain for this event only. I can't stress that enough. And then just simply OK it. And now you'll see your user interface for the parametric EQ. So you would adapt it to suit your sound. Or you could choose a preset from the drop-down list. Now I'm going to do that. I'll choose a preset. I'll go for phone line effect. And once I've chosen that preset, I'll click on the cross to close this out of sight. OK, so let's have a quick listen to this. I'll come down here and hit play.
White Star rocket ships fill the air with the roar of drums.
Okay, it sounds like an old phone call. Right, to remove it, if you don't like it, simply click the button down here on your event once more. Do notice it's illuminated in green to indicate that an effect is in use. And with our resulting user interface, click the second button at the top right to remove this selected plugin. Okay, let's just check that. I'll come down and hit play once more.
White Star rocket ships.
Great stuff, we're back to normal. Right, let's experiment. What I would like to do is, on our second line of our vocal file, where it's slightly affected anyway, what I want to do is I want to add an effect just to that section, but keeping the rest of it intact. And one way round this, without using automation, one way to be able to do this is to create an event just out of that one line. Now let me just grab this slider down here to zoom in. And what I need to do is, at the beginning of that line, I need to split it, and at the end of that line, I need to split it as well. So we get a brand new event. So I'll place my CTI here just before that line, where I want to split this event, and then with it selected, hit S on my keyboard as the shortcut to split. Okay, now I'll move my CTI to just at the end of that line, and I'll do the same thing. With it selected, I can hit S, and that now splits the event at that point. Okay, we now have a new short event, which means I can apply an effect just to this part. And I'm sure you can follow what I'm doing now. Just come down here to the event, just this event, this one line, click on its button to add the effect, and then select the effect you want to use. Well, I'm going to use the parametric EQ once more, and then remembering I need to click on add, and then OK it. And from here, remember what we do? Click on the drop reveal to choose your telephone preset. OK, done. I'll click on our cross to close, and that's now added only to that particular line. I'll just back up my CTI to the beginning so we can hear this. Here we go. I'll hit play.
White Star rocket ships fill the air with the roar of drums.
Okay, great. So that's what we can do then when we want to add an effect to one event. We heard our first line as it was recorded, but our second line, which we created a new event from, was affected with that parametric EQ. And then our remaining lines, we only heard the third line, but the remaining lines went back to its unaffected state. Okay, so that's how we add effects on a track, but to individual elements or to individual events on that track.